and this Grace Shemin Goldstein.
I hope I'm speaking well here on the microphone. So my father was Manny Emanuel Shemin, Elsie and Ina's brother. And I do have two other sisters here today because my dad, Manny, had four daughters. I'm a twin with Suzanne. Do you want to raise your hand? And Leslie, I think you're in the back. And then I have a third sister, so we're four girls. The other sister is helping move in her son in Nashville, so she couldn't be here today, but we're very close, and we all live in the New York area, very close to each other. Ina was speaking about the early days at the nursery on the Post Road in the Bronx, and those are my first memories of Grandpa, because my dad, who ended up taking over the business, used to commute to the Bronx, and he would bring his children to work in the greenhouse. So from very early years, we learned the value of hard work and discipline, and we spent a lot of time with Grandpa. And also his wife Bertha, who I will mention at the end, because no one has mentioned Bertha, but I think she really was an important role in his life. She was the nurturer, yes, and warm and sweet. I'll mention her at the end. But we used to go to the nursery and work, but we also played. And then we would visit William in the kitchen with Bertha. And I remember the checkered board plastic cloth that they had on the kitchen table, and the kitchen was the office. And I do remember that they worked out of the kitchen as their office. People, contractors would come into the kitchen. The old cottage cheese containers would be the holders for like paper clips and things. I mean, it was really, I remember those, even the bedrooms had all the office supplies. I remember those blue carbon copy invoices that people used to use. And we used to play with them and probably waste so much of that paper. So those are our early memories, and I don't know if Grandpa then had a cane, but then the business ended up moving to Greenwich. My father turned it into a wholesale operation and moved Grandpa and everyone from that house to Greenwich. And so our memories there are really when he used to visit us at our home. And the biggest memory of Grandpa is really a big smile. He loved family. I mean, we've talked about his values. Family was an important part, and he wanted to spend time with each and every one of us. So I'm going to mention a few memories that I had written down for a local newspaper, and just read it out loud because it kind of encapsulates things. Our grandfather was interested in history, politics, he was a staunch Republican, athletics, and he was a proud Jew. We spent summers in upstate Chazy, New York, at their summer home on Lake Champlain. William, I think he built it with the help of some local contractors. We were told that our grandfather swam across the lake to Vermont and back. That's what a powerful man he was and an athlete. So he played varsity football, as was mentioned, and lacrosse at Syracuse University. He was also a semi-pro baseball player, as Ina mentioned. He believed in discipline, hard work. We raised the American flag in the morning and lowered it in the evening. We were instructed on how to properly fold the flag and salute as a member of the military. We were required to make our beds every morning with hospital corners and then waited for inspection. For fun, we swam in the lake with our sneakers as the lake floor was lined with sharp stones. We also enjoyed horseback riding lessons. We attended West Point football games with our grandfather during the fall time. The only indulgence was being able to purchase Army clothing at the West Point canteen. Remember, Army clothes were very cool in the 60s. We remember my grandfather wearing Army pants, driving a Jeep, which was very cool to do so at the time. Waste was not permitted. Bags and newspapers were saved, and food was not allowed to be thrown out. You had to finish your plate. To this day, it's been having an impact on my we particularly, also, our grandfather liked purchasing day-old food that had reduced pricing. We particularly remember apple turnovers as a treat, but of course we avoid looking at the date. He was an avid gardener, so we ate fresh-grown corn, rhubarb, tomatoes, and other summer vegetables. And because Grandpa was handicapped and injured at war, he later had arthritis, and he did use a cane to walk. We were afraid of our grandfather because he was so stern. He used his cane to point and instruct. He had 14 grandchildren, so there were many of us for him to corral. He had beautiful penmanship and used to write beautiful letters to the grandchildren during the summertime. There was one bedroom for all 14 grandchildren at the summer house. When the door was closed at night, we giggled with our cousins. Rarely, though, were we with all the grandchildren all at one time, but there were some moments. And just the final thing, his wife Bertha, my grandmother, was really the opposite of him because she showed her emotions more, and she had a very nurturing, affectionate style. And she always used to call us Dolly, Dolly. And so I think she nurtured him. I think he was really lucky to have her. Don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we have the rest of the grandchildren here. So these would be Elsie's children. William is here. You want to raise your hand, William? And Carolyn is here. Carolyn brought Elsie here and has been at her side every moment of this. William has helped a lot with all the communications. And then from Ina's children, we have Julie, raise your hand, who lives in Seattle and did I get it? California?
Oregon.
Oregon.
Plus.
Beth, North Carolina.
Michael.
Michael is here.
Michael's here.
So, because Ina had 5 children.
And Jackie is there.
Jackie, here's Jackie.
Yeah.
So anyway, did I include everyone? Yeah. Okay. So, and then of course spouses are here, and I don't know if any of our children are here. So I just wanted to thank you for organizing this, and Elsie. Thank you for coming. It means a lot to us.